Welcome to another edition of the Burrow Podcast. I'm your host Josh, and I'm joined today by Mark Rayner. How you doing, Mark?
Very well, mate. Yourself?
Mate, I'm doing well. You know, the bye weekend last week, no stress, but we're back into it this week, aren't we, against the Warriors?
Yeah, looking forward to that one, mate. It's going to be a really good game of football, I think.
Yeah, well, we had the team drop the other day, and there wasn't many changes at all to the side. We got fullback Latrell Mitchell, Alex Johnston and Bailey Bentley-Harpe on the wings, Isaiah Tass and Campbell Graham the centres, Jaden Sullivan and Jamie Humphries are the halves, Jai Arrow, Keon Kaloa-Matangi on the front row with Sliver Havili in the 9, Ewan Aiken, Tallis Duncan are playing in the back row, Lachlan Hubner is a lock. We've got Jai Gray, Sean Kepi, Davey Mawali and Junior Totola are making up the bench with Liam LeBlanc in the 18, Fletcher Myers, Shaq Mitchell, Lewis Dodd and Jacob Host making the extended bench.
Yeah, good. I think mate, at the moment, probably our strongest lineup that we could probably put out on the park, mate. I've been impressed with young Sullivan of late. I think he's really come along defensively. He's always had that little bit of attacking flair, but I think defence was something that sort of let him down a little bit in the past. But he seems to have tightened that up really well, and he's doing some good things for us.
Yeah, you certainly got that right. One of the areas that everyone was concerned about was his defence. But I think the best thing, this is the third game in a row where we've had very minimal changes. I think last game against the Tigers, we had Alex Johnston come in for Fletcher Myers, and then this week, the only change has been Sean Kepi's come back in. Oh, sorry, Junior Totola also came in for Sean Kepi, but Sean Kepi's back in for Liam LeBlanc. So not many changes at all, are there?
It's good. It's a little bit of consistency in the lineup for the last couple of weeks, and I think the results on the field are a testament to that.
It's funny because a few weeks ago, I was on here, I was talking about our lack of go forward. We didn't have any forwards making over 100 metres. There was several weeks in a row. John did a couple of times playing back row, but he certainly made front row his own, hasn't he? It's been a huge change, and even others around him are starting to get over 100 metres in the game off the back of him, aren't they?
Oh, 100%. He's been outstanding for us. I mean, you know, he's a funny lad because when he's having the interviews and that he's he can't wait to tell everybody that he's a back rower. But I'm sorry, Sunshine, mate, you are a front rower and a damn good one. So hey, while the going's good, he's playing some great football. Leave him where he is. He's doing a good job for us.
Well, he certainly identifies as a back rower, doesn't he?
Don't go there. Don't go there, mate. That's
Bailey Bentley Harpe is, back in the side again still, so he keeps his spot. We've got a few players due back shortly. Ravalawa was one that came back last week in New South Wales Cup and only lasted, I believe, 10 minutes or whatever, and we're not sure of the injury there. Reports saying, some are saying it's shoulder, some are saying it's a pec injury. We've had no reports from the club there, so he gets a stay of execution, and you got Ty Munro waiting in the wings as well to come back soon. So, but I thought early on he struggled a little bit, especially that game against the Storm. But ever since then he's held his own, hasn't he?
Yeah, 100%, mate. I think look, he's a young man, just getting started in his trade, and there's going to be times where you have to allow that with the young blokes, don't you? They're gonna have a mistake in them every now and then. Hey, this is how we learn, mate. We make mistakes and then we rectify those. Hey, I'm happy with his game so far. He's really shown some improvement. In saying that, really looking forward to seeing Tai back out there, and also obviously Jack and Cody to slip back into that side. I think it'll be. I mean, Wayne always gets his teams primed for the back end of the year, and I think that we could be building to something pretty nice towards that stretch.
Well, not to mention the bringing someone like Brandon Smith in as well, who's not far away either.
100%. 100%, mate. He's the cheese, the big cheese. He's what's the word I'm after? He's an enigma, the cheese, and and I think I really, really think that he'll play his best football in these colours.
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot of talk around his move here, and you just have to look at the vision of him and seeing how happy he is. And there's a lot of talk saying this is the happiest he's been for a while. So you know what it means when you see a player so happy or whatever. You see them come, and that's when they play their best football, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, absolutely, absolutely. It's it's the saying goes, mate. Happy wife, happy life, happy cheese. Yes, please. I think he's he's really been embraced by the team, by the coaching staff, and he's relishing his time at Redfern so far, mate. So positive signs.
Well, we've got a couple of stats here. So just for when we play the Warriors and that, we've had a head-to-head record. We lead that by 21-20. But earlier on, it was all Warriors, really, wasn't it? Of late, of the last 16 games, we've won 14 of them. Last year, that was our first loss. We had an 8-game winning streak against them. So we're certainly dominating against the Warriors in this period of time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, mate. And you know what? Honestly, and credit where credit's due. I've been really impressed with the way the Warriors have gone about their football this year too, mate. It's the simple things. Webster has got them, mate. Just completing sets. Good kick chase. That that power game that they have through the middle there with Fisher Harris and Barnett. They've got a smart dummy half. Their back rowers are workhorses, and their outside backs are. I mean, you got like two of us, a Sheck, mate. He's about 150, but he's still just playing really, really good football. Nickel Clockstad at the back. They're a really, really dangerous football side, and that's a, a
Yeah.
big indication of where they're sitting on the competition ladder at the moment, mate.
Well, Luke Metcalf's leading the Dally M's, so it's just gone behind closed doors this week, and he was leading the Dally M's, so he's obviously doing something right there, isn't he?
He's braining it. He's a classy little half, mate, and we have to be absolutely on our toes defensively to cut down their time and space with the football, mate, and I think if we can do that, if we can nullify those halves, it'll go a long way to winning the game.
Well, I think they're very similar to us in this season, except we've had a couple of big losses. They've had a couple of big losses as well, but they've won 2 more games than us, and most of their games are very close. Close wins. They win the close games, which we have this year. I think our closest loss was against the Storm, was 8 points, where we scored in the last few minutes to close that gap a little bit. But every close game we've been in this year, we've won, and apart from last week, the Warriors did the same.
Yeah, yeah, mate, and that's what you've got to do in this competition. You have to win those close games. When it gets down in the trenches, you got to roll the sleeves up and you got to go toe to toe. And I think that's what we've gotten a hell of a lot better at since last season. And aside from a couple of games where I thought our forwards, probably got stood over a little bit, they have done that. They've rolled their sleeves up and not taken a backward step, and that's all we can ask from them.
Well, I think we're best served when we have guys playing in their rightful positions. You got Kean, whose best position's prop. He can talk about being back row, but that's his best position. Junior Totola against the Tigers had his best game that he's played this year since returning from injury. Ewan Aiken, he's one guy that I can't give enough raps to playing in the back row. When he played centre, it just didn't work. It was a wrong move, and since he's been in the back row, our defence out wide's looked a lot better, and it certainly helped someone defending on a young guy like Bailey Bentley Harpe defending on the wing, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. He's a very experienced campaigner. I agree with you 100% in terms of he's not a centre anymore. I think he's best. I remember. Oh, I can't remember how long ago it was, mate. But I remember a game that we played against St George, and he I hate to say it, but I think he got over the top of Inglis that day, and I think that
That was
was that was
Inglis's last game.
Inglis's last game. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Hey, I mean, GI was undoubtedly one of the greatest, but Aiken gave him a little bit of a bath that day, and I think that was vintage centre Aiken.
Yeah.
But from then on, he's been a back rower, and he's a damn good one.
Well, we're playing at Acor this week. We haven't played the Warriors that often at Acor. Last year we played them there. Before that, played them in 2007. That was the last time we've won there. Our head-to-head at Acor with Telstra / ANZ is they've won 4 and we've won 3. It's certainly not a happy hunting ground for us, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, mate. I think it's just we've come up against Warriors teams that have come to Australia to play football, mate. And in this competition, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're sitting on the ladder. If you're not prepared to roll your sleeves up and play football, then you're going to get beat by anybody, mate. So, it's been really. And to be honest, I love the Warriors fans. I think they're the Kiwis are just they're just legends, and they really get behind their teammate. And as you can see over there at Mount Smart, I think it's called. Is it still called Mount Smart over there?
Go Media Stadium now, so
Go media. Um,
yeah.
my apologies. It was it's you
It's
just have
still
a
Mount
look
Smart
at how
anyway. So
parochial they are.
yeah,
Yeah,
look,
yeah, they're awesome.
I've been over there plenty of times, and honestly, I put the Warriors fans up the top as the best fans in the NRL, the most friendliest fans. Never had an issue over there. All the years that I've travelled over there, and they're very friendly and very welcoming. So yeah, well, it's good to see them going well. Hopefully, they don't go too well on Sunday.
I think it'll be a good game of football, mate. But I'd like to think that we've got enough in that team of ours to get the job done.
Yeah, well, we suffered our biggest ever loss against the Warriors in our history. 2006 at Acor, it was Telstra Stadium back then, 66-0. One game we certainly want to forget, isn't it?
Oh, mate, that was putrid. 2006 wasn't a great year for us. It was pretty ordinary the entire year. I think we only won 3 games all year in 2006.
That's
It
right.
felt like everybody was having a little bit of a tap dance on our what's for the majority of the year. But hey, you know what? You play what's in front of you, don't you?
You do, and look, this is a totally different side this year than played them last year, where they hammered us last year, and Sean Johnson absolutely carved us last year. So this is a totally different side. Wayne Bennett's got them playing mistake-free football, and when we do that, when we complete well, we're right in the game, aren't we?
Yep, that's it, mate. Rugby league's a simple game, mate. Hasn't changed since its inception. Hang on to the football, complete your sets, good kick chase, defend well, and you're in it. Pretty simple, mate.
Well, this is going to be a rare Sunday game at Acor. I don't remember the last time we've done that. I can't remember, but especially for families, it's going to be a great opportunity for them to get out there. Hopefully, it's a fine day on Sunday, and we do get a bit of a crowd because we don't usually get big crowds against the Warriors over the years. Even when we're playing at the SFS back in the day, we got crowds under 10,000 there. But I expect the Warriors to bring a few fans for this game, and they're going to be very loud, aren't they?
Yeah, mate. I mean, look, they they seem to. I don't know where they come from, but they seem to just be there. I mean, it's- like you said, mate, earlier, they're some of the best fans in the NRL. And I think I think the last time I actually got a chance to watch the Warriors, mate, was when in the COVID year. I think we played them at Bank West
We
or
did, yes.
Combank or whatever the hell it's called these
Big,
days.
big
And
crowd of
yeah, I
430.
remember. Yeah, we ended up getting the tickets to go and watch that, Loz and I. So that was probably the last time I've actually seen the Warriors live myself. So I'm looking forward to it.
So that would have been 2020.
2020? I
Yes.
don't know, mate. Too many head knocks for me, brother. The memory's not that great these days. But yeah, it was really like surreal to be out there, I don't know. I think it was about 500 people or something like that in at
Yeah,
Combank.
it
So
was like 450 or something like. Yeah, right. Yeah, it was very low crowd, and I went the week before because we played the Titans the week before, and I was lucky enough to get a ticket for that one.
yeah,
So I was at that game. Yeah, it was a very hard period, that wasn't it? Not being able to go to games and finally getting to go back, and then you're there with 450 people, and you're like, oh no, we need more.
yeah. But you know what? Hey, beggars can't be choosers, mate. Just grateful to be able to go and watch some live footy, and yeah. So I think we would have taken, mate. I would have taken friggin' park football. I would have taken anything
Yeah.
back then, mate. Whatever, anything. Give me something.
Well, there's talk today that Latrell's 50-50 to play on Sunday. Picked up a little bit of a niggling injury after the State of Origin. We'll talk a bit more about State of Origin later, but what do you see happening if Latrell's out?
Oh, Jai will just go straight to fullback, mate, and somebody else will get promoted onto the interchange bench. I think that's just the natural progression, isn't it?
But I'm probably more interested in who gets that bench spot. Would it be just bring Liam LeBlanc in and have four forwards, or are we going to try to bring a utility? Lewis Dodd's on the extended bench. I don't think he did too well in the coming off the bench previous times, and I'm not sure that's the thing that I'd personally do. But Wayne does like to have a small guy coming off the bench, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't know, mate. Interesting scenario. Hopefully Latrell does play, and it's just we certainly need him out there, mate. If we're going to be any sort of big chance, I think he holds the aces at the moment while Cody's sitting out with injury. So we certainly need the big fella. Yeah, Jai Gray straight in. Yeah, LeBlanc onto the bench. Why not? Four forwards. Let's go.
Yeah, well, my only concern is Saliva Havilia's hooker is not an 80-minute hooker. Even last game against the Tigers, the back end of the game he was really struggling, and that was after having a break. So I'm not sure what we could have, who we could have playing the dummy half role for that 10-15 minute period. That's obviously concerning if Latrell's out and we have a four-man forward bench.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, what what do we do? We just have to bite down on the bit, mate, and get it done. And maybe Seville needs to do a little bit more cardio if he's not an 80-minute hooker, mate. Just get some more air in your lungs, big fella. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
mate, that's up
we've
to Wayne, not us. So he gets paid the what is it, $3 or $4 million a year to make those decisions. So yeah,
true. We've got the pathways that had a good win the other day against Norths, 18-2. Who impressed you in that game?
I like the kid Humphreys, and his halves partner, the young Ward. I think those blokes are, mate. They're going to be the future of our first grade team, I believe, if we can hang on to them. And Mellars as well. I'm excited about that young fella. He's playing some good football. I believe he had a little bit of a wretched run with injuries there for a little while, but he seems to have come out the other side there, and yeah, he's really showing some class. Yeah, excited. I mean, the boys, they haven't been going real well this year, but they showed some good grit and determination on the weekend, and it was a good result.
Yeah, well, that was their second win of the season, I believe, and they got close against Newcastle. I think they got close. They had a kick from the sideline to snatch a draw. Unfortunately, it missed, but they played well. And the return of Shaq Mitchell's certainly been instrumental in their form turnaround, hasn't it?
Yeah, the big fella just he just continues to amaze me, mate. You know what? He's such a lovely bloke too. Like he's just like we got to meet him at one of the South Fan days I think they had last year. We took the kids down there, and mate, he couldn't he just had all the time in the world for you. He's just
Yeah.
a really likable fella, and I'm just so glad to see him back on the field and carting the ball up, mate, and doing all those little things that a good front rower should be doing. So hopefully he can earn his spot back in the first grade side again soon.
Yeah, well, you spoke before about Hazen Mellors, and it's a kid I really rate. His dad was a former Warriors player, Vincent Mellors. He also played for the Sharks and the Roosters, but just impressive seeing him, how he's transformed into a New South Wales Cup and handling himself against men. I'm sure he's not too far away from a first grade debut, but he is off contract in the end of this year, and he's someone that I'd love to see South persevere with.
100%, 100%, mate. We can't be letting these kids go anywhere. It's just it would be a big mistake. Because we've got them, right? We know that they're going to be something. Why would you let them go? And then you've got to go and find, other blokes to do. Like, it's just ridiculous. So make them priorities. Get the job done. Re-sign them, and let's roll with them, mate, and show a little bit of faith in them. I think that's the way moving forward.
Well, speaking of signings and that, we've announced last week. We've announced two new signings for next season. The first one was Moala Graham Talfa, and the other one is a bit of a homecoming. He played is a South junior, and he played New South Wales Cup for us there, and everyone knows who his dad is, and that's Bronson Garlick.
Yeah, good homecoming for the young lad. I mean, Sean's just an absolute legend. Great bloke. Good to have his young fella come back home. And the big Kiwi bloke that we just picked up, mate. He looks a unit. I'm very excited to see that lad hopefully come into the side at some stage next year and show us what he can do.
He could be our Somi Avar from 2014. If you remember, he came in, was basically stuck in New South Wales Cup, and he come to us for an opportunity, and by the end of the year he was a premiership winner.
Did you and I go out to, was it Leichhardt Oval? And we watched it because we knew that Somi was coming to the club, and I think he was playing for the Sharks at that side, Because Sharks were affiliated with the Storm.
Feeder Club, yes. That's correct.
And I think we went. You and I took a trip out to Leichhardt Oval to go and watch him. And I remember walking away from that game that day, thinking, "Geez, we've got a kid here." And you know what he does? He gives me those vibes to this lad. So hopefully he can.
Well, he has played 4 first grade games.
Yeah, he has.
Played one for the Roosters, and believe it or not, his debut for the Roosters was against us in 2021. He was the 18th man, and he was activated when Joey Manu suffered that injury from the Latrell tackle that saw Latrell suspended. So he was activated at the back end of that, and that was his first grade debut.
Mate, I mean, Joey Manu's got a head that requires regular panel beating, mate. So I just think that that was play on, mate.
Fair play.
No suspension, play on.
Well, Bronson Garlick, he's played I think 33 first grade games now for the Storm, and you don't get to play 33 first grade games in a system like that if you're not a good player, are you?
100%, mate. He's that Mr. Fix-It. He's the guy that you can put just about anywhere on that field, and he will do a job for you. And they are, mate, they are a rare commodity, players like that. And when you get a chance to get a hold of one, it's a very, very good thing. So I think he's going to come into that system. He's going to bring a lot of wonderful experience and knowledge from the Craig Bellamy system into our team, and I think, mate, that can only be a good thing.
Well, we loosely touched on the injuries before, but we got a couple of guys that are due back the following week against the Raiders in Cody Walker and Jack White. And that'll be huge. Tyrone Munro was talking to someone at training and mentioned that he's could have been back this week, so I don't think he's too far away as well. Whether he makes his way straight into first grade or gets a couple of games in New South Wales Cup is yet to be seen. And obviously Ravalawa, we don't know what's happening there, but then they've also got Pete Mamazelos, who's still probably another month away, maybe 5 weeks, and same sort of time frame with Brandon Smith. So we're starting to get some troops back, and a name that's missing this week in New South Wales Cup is Celestia Tata. He's got a 2-week suspension, I believe, and the other one was Josh Schuster, who's named at 18th man. So he was a late withdrawal that made way for Matt Humphries. So whether he's back this week or not is yet to be seen. But I'm thinking that South should start looking at playing him a bit of back row, because I don't see him playing in the halves for us in first grade, and maybe a spot off the bench coming on and playing a bit of back row on lock would be the best thing for him.
Lost him. You can see him buffering up in that. Oh, there you go. I
No,
lost
there you
you.
go, mate.
I lost you
Yeah.
there for a little bit, mate. But you're right. I think Schuster. I mean, from what I've seen from him in New South Wales Cup, he's been doing his job, mate. Mate, why not? Just bring him in. See what he can do. Bring him off the bench. Mate, like no use, keeping him around if we're not gonna use the bloke. So I think he gives him up an opportunity if he's not going to stay at South, give him an opportunity to put himself in the window and yeah, just see how he goes. Give him a crack.
Well, last night we watched Origin, and the Blues had a win there. What was scoring in? Was it 18-10, wasn't it? Queensland scored a late try, but really it's a game that New South Wales dominated, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't really look like losing, mate, at any stage. They started really well. Got on the front foot. In typical Queensland sort of style, though, that sort of middle period around that second half, they were pressing and really coming after us. But defensively, we were very, very good. Kept turning them away, and mate, as far as I'm concerned, the best team won on the night, mate, and may we wrap it up in Perth in a couple of weeks' time too.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it felt like for you, but this certainly felt very low key for an Origin. The build up and everything, it was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Lachlan Galvin kind of dominated headlines, and Phil Gould with the Bulldogs, and that dominated headlines, didn't it? And I've never seen anything like it before with Origin, where something else has just dominated the headlines.
Yeah, pricks couldn't wait for a couple of weeks to get that sort of stuff sorted, did they? Eh? Typical Gus Gould, mate. Always got to be, stealing the headlines somehow, some way, mate. But old Beasting Head's done it again. He's got another young fella over to the club, and I mean, I think they must only be about $4 million over the cap now. So, Ian Schuster, if you're listening, mate, and you still work at the NRL, get over there and go through those books, son.
Or what about Ian Schubert?
Yeah, him too.
Yeah,
That's
thankfully he's
Josh's
gone.
that's Josh's dad. Ian Schuster, that's him. That's how could I forget that? Anyway.
Yeah, well, I thought the game itself was very un-Origin like. It just didn't have the intensity of a usual. I mean, there was some good defence and things like that, but the game itself didn't live up to the hype of what Origin is. That's at least what I thought.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right, mate. It didn't have that feel of years gone by. I thought, mate, I thought the highlight of the night was when Spencer Lenu was mentioning how much he enjoys playing against Queensland and how he really appreciates when they don't kick the ball to him from the kickoff. Yeah, mate. Look, it's I don't know. For me, it's this series doesn't feel the same. It's like it's lost a little bit of its luster. I don't know. What do you do?
Well, not a good. I'm not good at reading lips, but I'm sure he called them soft and some other word afterwards.
Something along those lines. I think said he liked soft cakes or something like that. Something along those lines.
Probably.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting because game two is over in Perth, and Queensland haven't won over there, and we've no doubt Queensland are going to lift for the next game. They're going to make a couple of changes, and you can never write them off, can you?
No, absolutely not, mate. And I rate Billy Slater as a coach, and I think have we seen the last of Daly Cherry Evans in an Origin jersey? Time will tell. I just
Well,
think he's been a great, wonderful player for Queensland over the years, but I just think he's not as I don't know. Sometimes, mate, you can be a special player, but Origin can sort of leave you behind a little bit, and I just have a feeling that might be the case with Daly.
yeah, well, there's certainly a lot of talk about that, isn't there? And as they say, Father Time catches up with us all. So, he's still a very good NRL player, but Origin's just a different level, and it's a cutthroat game as well. Like, especially with Queensland, they don't like losing, do they?
No, mate, they don't. They do not. As like Father Time, mate, as you were alluding to, Father Time is undefeated. Mate, whatever changes that Billy wants to make, I'm sure he'll make the right ones that he believes can get the job done. And if that means keeping Daly there in the seven for now, I'm sure that when Cherry Evans gets another opportunity, that you know, if and when he'll do a job. But yeah, I don't care, mate. Screw Queensland. Up the Blues. Whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
bring it on.
What did you make of Latrell Mitchell's game?
I thought he did he, he didn't have a wow look. That pass that he threw, mate, was outstanding, and defensively he did his job. He did a wonderful job out there, and I think he just did what he was asked to do, which is I mean, wow, shock horror. If every player did what they were asked to do, wouldn't life be wonderful? But
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
he's Latrell, mate. I don't think the thing with Latrell is because it's Latrell Mitchell, people just automatically think that he's got to go out there and do something really spectacular, and he's got to be the man to throw 5 brilliant passes a game and run the length of the field and score. That you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
not always scripted like that, and I think for the script, Latrell did a wonderful job.
Yeah, look, I mean, he had that moment that he'd rather forget where he lost the ball, hitting it up, and they scored. But overall, sorry, overall, he did what he was meant to do. I don't think he got anywhere near enough clean ball. I thought the halves struggled to get the ball out to him. They too often turned it inside or short balls to Angus Crichton when I felt they should have gone out the back. And they only did that once with Latrell, maybe another time. But the one time they did that, he did that beautiful tap and he had no time to do that pass yet.
No.
Pulled it off perfectly, didn't he?
Yeah, and that is again that is the beauty of Latrell Mitchell. He's capable of plays like that. Get him. Come on, Cleary, Moses. What are you doing? Get him the ball. Game 2. Get Latrell the football, you lunatics.
Well, back to the game on Sunday. We're as I said before, playing at Acor. The Burrows in the usual spot in 110. The following week, we're down another Sunday game down in Canberra against the Raiders. So we've certainly got a tough run, and followed by the Bulldogs and then the Storms, playing all the top 4 sides in a row. But down in Canberra, we're in base 73, which is the away supporters base. So if you want to get your tickets and join us in the Burrow, get your tickets there. But how do you see this game turning out against the Warriors?
Mate, as long as the thing with us is, mate, and it frustrates me a little bit, is that quite often it's not the opposition that are beating us; it's us beating ourselves. So if we can sort of nullify the errors, especially errors coming out of our own end, and just keep turning the screws on them, mate, I think we can get the win out there. It might, it's probably not going to be. Souths aren't historically known for, or this team anyway, for blowing teams off the park. If we can get a 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 point sort of win this weekend, mate, I think that'll be a very, very good result.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a close game. The Warriors in the first 20 minutes, that's where the game, we've got to take the game on there and prevent them from pulling away. I think if we do that, we're a good chance. And certainly the Warriors are shown. I've seen them a few weeks ago when they played the Dragons. They started off on fire and almost got run down, but then did enough just to sneak home with that win. And that's something that our attack, I think's been a little bit off, and we certainly miss Cody Walker. Even against the Tigers, we struggled in our attack. We had a lot of ball inside the 20 and couldn't really create much, could we?
Nah, and mate, we've got a young bloke, mate. That's a dozen games, or not even a dozen games. Jamie Humphreys, like half a dozen games into his NRL career, and a bloke that I don't know how many NRL games Sully's played, but they're young blokes, mate. They're doing their best. But if our forwards can go forward and do what they're supposed to do, then they're going to give our outside backs every opportunity to create something, mate. So you never know.
Well, that's about wraps it up today. We loved having you on, Mark, again, and we really look forward to this being a regular thing with us. And we're going to be out there. I'm going to have the scarves available, the Burrow scarves. So if you want one of the Burrow scarves, there's only very few left. Come see me in aisle 110. They're $30 each. You can see there, Shaq's holding it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you're out there. This is a Sunday game. Everyone's been screaming for it, saying we don't get many Sunday games. Get out there, get behind the boys, because they are really putting in for us, and we're certainly in a strong position where we didn't think we'd be with all the injuries we've had. And sixth position, a win here will see us a step closer to the top four and having some troops back. So, any last thoughts, Mark?
No, mate. I think it's going to be a really, really good game of football. It'll be tight. Warriors will come to play as we know that they always will. Yeah, go the Bunnies. And to anyone that's watching, we usually go up to the what's it called, mate? The top bar
Members bar.
The members
The
bar.
members bar.
If you see us up there in the members bar, come and say g'day, and let's hopefully we'll be celebrating a good win.
Well, I'll be there, and I'll have the camera out taking everyone, like the fan reactions after the game. So if you want to be part of that, make sure you come and get in front of the camera, and I want to see your reactions, and we'll put it up here on YouTube. But for now, I'm your host, Josh, joined by Mark. Go the Rabbitohs.
Go the Rabbitohs.
South Sydney! South Sydney!